Okay, so here are 5 important due diligence tasks to perform prior to doing a home single family house renovation project. First is to develop a scope of work. Now, a scope of work will lay out everything that needs to be completed in the house. And what I like to do is have it in a spreadsheet, and I've got a template that I use that has all the major categories of work that could possibly need to be performed on a single family house renovation project. So I go through that list and I check off everything that needs to be completed. And the list of everything is the scope of work. The second due diligence task is to calculate the costs accurately. So you have your scope of work. Now you want to go through it and assign a cost for each of the items that need to be completed. Now, this is a really important task. You can't assume that pricing that you had on last month's project is the same pricing that's available today, especially in a volatile market where supply chains are being interrupted. It's very important that you get your costs clearly identified and written down in your scope of work. The third due diligence task is to establish the project timeline. So the question is, how long will it take you to complete the project that you laid out in your scope of work? Will it take 1 week? Will it take 3 weeks? Will it take 6 weeks? Will it take 8 weeks? If it's a major home renovation project, in the past, I could do it in 30 days. Or maybe a little bit less, or maybe up to 45 days. But now I'm really giving myself 6 to 8 weeks to complete a home renovation project just because things are taking longer. There's shortages of labor, there's supply chains interruptions. But you need to establish that timeline and know, as part of your due diligence task, how long will it take you to complete this project. The fourth due diligence task is to understand other possible exit strategies. So, for example, your primary exit strategy may be to resell the house on the market and sell it for the highest retail value that you can get for it. Alternative exit strategies could be to hold the property, put a tenant in place, and make it a cash flowing rental for a period of time, and could be years, and where you can raise the rent over a period of time and watch the property value go up and then sell after the tenant vacates. An alternative is a mix of those two things, is that you could put a tenant in place as soon as the house is renovated and then sell the property with a 1-year lease in place to another investment company or another investor that's looking to purchase a cash flowing rental. But it's really important to identify not only your primary exit strategy, but to have a couple of other exit strategies in mind. The market could change while you're renovating the house, and you want to know for sure what your options are to exit out of the situation. The fifth due diligence task is to complete and really get a complete market analysis from a licensed real estate broker or agent. Now, this is really important. If you renovate homes all the time, you may be familiar with the neighborhood. It's easy to get complacent and think that you know everything on every property that you purchase. But things change very quickly and can change very quickly. For example, maybe you're used to buying and renovating homes in a particular HOA community. Well, since you did your last things could have changed. There could have been a lawsuit that was filed against the HOA, for example, or the HOA has decided to raise the monthly HOA fee. Or the HOA maybe has decided to, in one case I know, they decided to sell the amenities. They sold the clubhouse, including the tennis courts and the swimming pool, and they converted it into the clubhouse into a residential property and sold the property. And so big changes like that could really affect the values of homes and the sales of properties in an HOA community. But the point is, do a market analysis on every property that you purchase as part of your due diligence tasks prior to being committed to making that purchase. So those are my 5 important due diligence tasks for every single family house rehabilitation project.